They're the fastest metal cars you've ever seen. Mattel's new Hot Wheels.
Hey everybody, this is Kevin, and as you can see, I'm just pre-treating my cardboard because I'm about to break open a couple packs of cards here, and I want to be ready, and I want this to be ready to go. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking some 100% acetone, aka my wife's nail polish remover, and I'm just treating it to the back of the card with a Q-tip. And okay, we're just going to let that soak in for a little bit. Okay, so I was at the store recently and I came across a Formula One car from the 60s in the Hot Wheels section, and I just fell in love with it because I'm a history buff and I love auto racing. So it just made sense that a historical race car would be right up my alley. So I picked up this green and yellow Lotus that, and I know back in the 60s, Jim Clark and Graham Hill both raced for Lotus, and these were the cars that they drove. So I picked it up and I was excited to get it. And before you worry, yes, I picked up two because I knew I was going to open up one to play with. So I do have another one of these back in my box. And the next day I literally went back and I was going to see if they had any more, and they did. And I picked this one up, and I didn't realize it at the time until I got home that it's a number 5. I'm like, wait a minute, I got a number 4. Now it's a number 5. What's going on here? Then I also noticed that the drivers were different color. One's in a white suit and the other one's in a gray suit. The bases are a little bit different, but it's the same car. Same number, 188 out of 250. Same picture other than the number. And the same title, 67 Lotus Type 49. So I'm going to give you a little history after I did some research on these cars. And let's see if it's soaked in yet. This one looks like it's about ready to go. Yeah, it doesn't. Maybe not as clean as I thought it would be. Maybe if I can just kind of crack the top open. Yeah, and then we'll just let the car kind of fall out. There we go. So there's the number 5. And I have since found out that this was the original Lotus that they made. Okay, let's see how number 4 is doing over here. It's doing about the same. There we go. Okay, so we've got our 2 cars. I'll put 5 and 4, just like so. Okay, so here are the 2. Man, those are awesome little cars. They roll nice and free. Okay, so while you stare at them there, let me zoom in a little bit on them. And let me give you a little bit of history. Now, this particular model, as you can see on the box, was new for 2024. It's a brand new design as of last year. It was debuted in the New Models series, and it was designed by Fraser Campbell. Now, so far, because it's such a new design, this is the one and only iteration of this car, with the exception of the 2 color variations, but it's the same design for the same year and same paint job other than the numbers. Now, the history of the car, the Lotus 49 is an open-wheeled Formula racer campaigned by Team Lotus for the 1967 Formula One season. Designed by Maurice Philippe under Colin Chapman, the Lotus 49 was a follow-up design to the previous 43, noted to be extremely unreliable, so they needed to change something up. The 49 was powered by the 3.0-liter Ford Cosworth DFV V8 engine. It was the first Formula One car to use this engine, which was built as a stressed member of the car chassis. Driven by 2-time champion Jim Clark and 1962 champion Graham Hill, the car won on its debut, with Clark winning the 1967 Dutch Grand Prix. The car would continue to be upgraded and race until 1970, winning a total of 12 races. The DFV V8 engine would later become the dominant engine used in Formula One for the remainder of the decade and the next, with the use of it fading out by the early 80s. 12 chassis in total were built of this car. Okay, this is where it's going to get interesting. The initial release is a replica of Jim Clark's Lotus 49 with the white race suit, which is the number 5 car. It was chosen as homage to the Grand Prix series of the 1970s that they did so well in. Now, this is where it got really interesting because I really wanted to find out which technically was Jim Clark and which was Graham Hill. Now, if you don't like to get into the weeds, then this is going to bore you to death, but I just found this very fascinating. Now, while researching these cars for the video, I found pictures of Jim Clark driving both the number 4 and the number 5 cars. Then I discovered Graham Hill driving both the number 5 and the number 6 car. So it would appear that Hot Wheels put Jim Clark correctly in a number 5 as an option, but Hill should have then had number 6. But they could have technically used both numbers, 4 and 5, had they put it the other way around. Put Clark in the 4 and Hill in the number 5. But then I even found a picture of Hill driving a number 7 car and then Clark in a number 1 car. And who knows what number this is that Hill's driving. I mean, it's not even 0. It's just nothing. Now, for someone who wants to tell a story about their display of cars, if you like to display your collection, one could easily just swap them out and be absolutely correct, calling Jim Clark Graham Hill. But the devil's in the details, and you'd have to explain yourself. But you can pretty much put any name to any number, and it would be hard to prove you wrong. Now let me pull a card back out and show you the back of the card. This is the debut of this particular car and card. It says powered, well, talking about the Lotus Type 49. Let me get a little more light here for you. There, that might help. Okay, born in 1967 in Hethel, England, and designed by Team Lotus. Powered by the Ford Cosworth DFV V8 engine and driven by 2 legendary drivers, the monocoque design Lotus 49 set new heights of performance as it raced to Grand Prix victories, and thus the legend was born. So there you have it. Let me zoom out again, and now we're going to be able to take a look at the cars in better detail. Let's start out with the number 5 because this was their debut car. So again, white driver on number 5, and it has a white base. There's the base of it right there. 67 Lotus Type 49 T20 HRY 76, made in Malaysia. Chromed engine and tailpipes, which appears to be all one solid unit, attached by the rivet. Has a yellow windscreen, which is appropriate. I love the grille, although technically it's not a grille because the engine's in the back, so it's air cooled. That scoop just must be for aerodynamics. But one thing is interesting. The 2 cars do share the same tires, same engine, chromed out, same paint job, other than the numbers, and then they just did a different body color and driving suit color for the 2 drivers. So there you have it. Jimmy Clark in the number 5, Graham Hill in the number 4. And if you were to customize these and were to buy more and paint different numbers on them, swap them out, put one driver in the other, and it wouldn't matter because you'd be correct every single time. So there you have it. Thanks for watching the debuting of my 1967 Lotus Type 49 Formula One cars. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. God bless, and we will see you in the next video.